So I'm 21 years old. I have the dream house. I have the dream car. I guess you could say I pretty much have every little thing that I, of course, desired in this life, right? But that was all because I decided to break my limiting belief on literally every single limit that I put onto myself. And of course, in this video, I'm going to be going over the exact type of mindset, because it really is a mindset at the end of the day. A lot of people don't think this type of life is possible for them, obviously, if they're young. But of course, at the end of the day, it all comes down to your limiting beliefs, and you have to completely understand on how to annihilate that. Because if you have your limiting beliefs blocking you, I promise you that you will not have the dream life that, of course, you desire. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to how bad do you want these things. And if you really want something that bad, just think about it for a second. If you really want something that bad, you're gonna do everything in your will to making sure that you get whatever that thing is. And you have to understand that you need a burning desire to actually accomplish the things that you want to actually accomplish, right? Because a lot of these things, right, that we desire, I desired the $1 million mansion. Obviously, I'm in the $1 million mansion, but in order for me to get to that point where I was actually able to accomplish these things, I had to go through so much hell. I had to go through a million different doubts. I had to go through a bunch of sleepless nights, and I had to deal with problem after problem after problem happening inside of the business or happening inside of my personal life, because God was throwing everything at me, putting every single thing on my back, seeing if I will continue to push myself, which of course I did because of my limiting belief. And now that I was able to break that limiting belief that I had, God was of course able to give me the life that I wanted to live. And of course, before God actually blesses you, he will put you through so many different tests inside of your life. So you have to really understand that life is a test at the end of the day. So you really need to understand every single thing inside of this game of life, so you can of course accomplish everything and just keep going up to the next level, next level, next level. But the only way that you could do that is by breaking your limiting beliefs. And just to put this out there, a lot of people, maybe even including you, are gonna think, oh, what can I do inside of the business so I could get from one place to another, to the place that of course you desire to be in. It's not necessarily about what you're exactly doing inside of the business. It's about the things that you are doing outside of the business, and everything that is correlated inside of your mind will make you do things that are either good for you or either bad for you. But of course, if you only want to do the good things, which are going to improve your business and obviously make you a bunch more money with literally whatever business model you're pursuing, you have to remember that your mind will make the decisions for you. So if you're not in that healthy mind state, if you do not think you can accomplish anything you put your mind to, therefore you just simply won't, and you have that limiting belief on you. Even when things in your life aren't going good, even when business is doing shit, if you're going through millions of different personal problems, and if you feel like you're going through hell over and over and over, then you need to just simply push past that. Detach your emotions, because it's the law of detachment. And once you exactly understand on how to detach your emotions from literally anything, you will literally be unstoppable, because this is the thing that will of course make you not have that limiting belief anymore. And once you learn exactly how to detach from everything, that is when your life will drastically improve. Because of course, if you tie emotions to a business, you will simply just fail. And if you're feeling burnt out in a business, let's say you're not seeing the results that you want to see, and you feel like you're not able to hit the goals that you of course want to achieve, that all comes down to your limiting belief. And your limiting belief is an emotion. So if you completely detach any type of emotion from a business, that is how you will literally get every single thing that you wanted in this life. Of course, with all of the inputs that you put in, you will create the output. And if you go into every little thing in business with the healthiest mind state possible, that you could literally do anything, then I promise you, you will be able to do every single thing that you put your mind to. There will be no limitations on you, because one, you do not attach emotions to your business, and for two, if you are in that healthy mind state, you're going to be telling yourself that whatever you put your mind to, you will be able to accomplish no matter what. Whatever problem is being thrown at you, you will be able to push past that problem no matter what the problem is, no matter how big it is, no matter how bad it is. It doesn't matter if you go broke today, you will get back up on your feet tomorrow. That is the type of mentality that you need to have coming into literally any single business, because that's the only way that you will of course accomplish the things that you want out of life. If you want to get the house, if you want to get the car, that's obviously not going to be easy, especially if you are someone who is young, because these are things that we are wanting to obtain ourselves, but that most people probably couldn't even get throughout their entire life. And obviously, if we're doing it at a very young age, we need to think different and we need to move differently, because if you are not moving differently compared to everybody else, don't expect to get different things compared to what everybody else has, right? If you do average things, you're going to get average results, and that's just the name of the game. So you have to be willing to do the hard things at the end of the day, no matter what the cost is. You have to be willing to do it if you genuinely want to get the things that a lot of people don't have. And whatever you do, you always have to remember that every little thing that you do and put your mind to, everything that you're working towards, it is 100% possible. If I want to make $1 million this year, and let's say for an example, I have yet to even make my first $1,000. It is possible. You just have to be willing to be delusional enough to ingrain that inside of your brain and tell yourself that you are able to do anything. And even if you do not hit that massive goal that you set, you will at least get a little bit further than you were probably initially going to. Because let's say you set the goal to maybe make $100,000 your first year in online business, you maybe would have got only 1/10 of the way there, rather than if you set your goal to be making $1 million your first year in online business, you might just get 1/10 of the way there too. And obviously that's going to be a whole lot more money that you will obviously be making, because you set no limitations to yourself, just because you have the mentality that you are able to accomplish anything that you put your mind to. And if you are acting this delusional, I promise you, subconsciously, you will start making the same exact choices as you might have not would have if you set your goal smaller. Because if you set your goal bigger, you will subconsciously ingrain the thoughts of that person who wants to hit that goal. So you might be putting in just a little bit more effort initially, rather than if you set the smaller goal. There are absolutely no limitations to any single thing that you do, and I want you guys to 100% remember that. Always remember that. You are not limited by anything. The only limitations that you have are the limits that you set on yourself. And you have to remember, you are the creator of your reality. Whatever result that you want to get, you are more than likely able to get it. You just have to be the person who is not thinking like the 99% majority of people that don't have the dream life that of course they desire, because they didn't put the necessary steps in order to get there, whether if that's one, their work ethic, or two, whether if that was their mindset. Because the mindset is the foundation. Before any single thing happens inside of your life, before any desire that you have becomes a reality, everything starts in the mind. Before I literally moved in this house, I knew in the back of my mind that I was going to get this no matter what. Even when I was living at my parents' house dead broke, even when I was working as a janitor at a grocery store making literally $10 an hour before I ever even made a single dollar online, I knew I would be in the position like this. And that is what you have to tell yourself. You have to really feel it, you have to really visualize it, and you have to tell yourself, no matter what, no matter how your life is going, no matter what circumstance you're in, no matter the position you're currently in, you will make it no matter what, and you will accomplish exactly every single thing that you set out for yourself. Before I literally bought my car, I visualized myself driving that car. I visualized myself making content with it. And of course, by having my mentality as knowing that I can do any single thing that I put my mind to, I subconsciously started making better decisions. And of course, those decisions led me to get every little thing that I could have ever desired. I was literally having a conversation with my parents yesterday at Thanksgiving dinner, and they were telling me, Rob, you look so stressed out. They told me that they genuinely felt worried about me because of the amount of pressure that I have on my back. And even after accomplishing every single thing that I could have ever wanted, having the car, having the high-rise apartment still inside of the city, on top of me living in a multi-million-dollar mansion, they still do not understand. I came to the conclusion that your parents will still not understand. And you have to remember that as well. Whoever doesn't agree with the life that you want to live, remember, they did not have the vision that God put inside of your head. God put the vision inside of your head for a reason, so do not expect someone else to understand what God put inside of your head. And of course, don't expect other people to understand exactly what you want out of life. They're gonna say you're delusional. They're gonna tell you that's not possible. They're gonna tell you go to get a backup option even if you're already getting results. They're gonna do every single thing to drag you down to the bottom with them. You have to be the person who never lets anybody else drag them down with them. Because when people are at rock bottom and you're all the way up here above them and you're superior to them because you accomplished so much more than them, because you had a more burning desire than them and you were able to work harder than them, when you are at this level and they are down here, they're gonna try to pull you down to their level. And it's not exactly because they hate you or they don't want you to win, but deep down internally, whether if it's consciously or subconsciously, they hate the reminder that they are not doing as good as you because they settled. So therefore, they're gonna try to drag you down with them, because the growth that they are seeing inside of you, they see themselves lacking in growth as well. So by all means, do not be surprised when everybody around you, no matter how close they are trying to drag you down with them. But don't take it personal. Just take that as a confirmation that you are separating yourself from people that you can no longer relate to, because at the end of the day, the more that you are growing, the more that you will separate yourself from the average person. And instead of having a negative mentality, such as maybe saying something to yourself like, I'm gonna prove them wrong, don't prove them wrong. Be mature about it, because money does not like immaturity. And instead of proving them wrong, just simply inspire them. And regardless of what they say, you don't take their inputs. You let it go in one ear and you let it go out the other. Never let anybody's negative comments that are being thrown onto you affect you, because I promise you, this will encourage you to have more of a limiting belief. And by all means, we do not want to have a limiting belief at all anymore. So you have to realize that whatever goes inside of your head, it will implant the vision that you have for your future, and it will also make you create the decisions for whether if you're going to impact your future or depact it. You have to only be putting in positive thoughts in your head, because I promise you, if you let any negative thought at all be implanted inside of your head and you let that negative thought affect you, that doubt or that limiting belief that you have in the back of your head about something that's going on right now, it will catch up to you and it will affect your performance inside of your work. At the end of the day, your mindset is the one thing that you really need to master, because once you master that and once you figure out exactly how to operate your mind and how your mind operates to things that you do, that is where your life will drastically improve, because like I said, everything starts in the mind before it becomes a reality. And always keep in mind, there's not one single person alive that has accidentally got the dream life that they have always desired. It doesn't happen by coincidence. You have to put the inputs inside of your business, inside of your personal life, which will create the dream life that you of course desire, only if you actually desire whatever you want strong enough. If there's no fire inside of you to get every little thing that you desire, I promise you it just won't happen. But if you do have that fire, keep pushing past whatever problem that you have. Do not let it emotionally affect you, and you will get every little thing that you desire in due time, the same exact way that I have, because the life I have right now is of course by no mistake. I saw every single thing in the back of my head before it actually happened. It gave me strong enough fire to get every little thing that I wanted. And of course, you have to visualize exactly what you want. You have to think about the exact life that you want, so you have a strong enough desire, and I promise you it will come to you. Push past every little limiting belief that you have and you will get the dream life that of course you want to live.